Well, I'm now joined by the Kent Film Club presenter, Chris Deacy. Chris, thank you very much for coming in. And it's not the only thing filmed here on Kent streets.
No, it's really exciting when you consider like Venus, for example, which was Peter O'Toole's, the film for which he won an Oscar nomination in 2006. That was filmed in Whitstable. You have the sword fight in The Princess Bride, which is one of the films that might be coming up in a few weeks' time on Kent Film Club. That was filmed in Penshurst Place. Yeah, many films, even having the M25, the Dartford Crossing closed for one of the Harry Potter films, the Deathly Hallows. So yeah, there's a clear link between Kent streets and places of interest, heritage sites, and some of the great movies that we watch.
And why do you think that they are filmed here? What's the appeal to us here in Kent? You mentioned some of the heritage and the history here too.
And the coastline as well, because I'm thinking of a film that's just come out, The Great Escaper, which might well be a film that Michael Caine gets another Oscar nomination for, and it was the last film made by his co-star as well, Glenda Jackson. And that film was partly filmed in Dover at the terminal. I mean, it's the story of the veteran who went all the way to France back in about a decade ago because he wanted to take part in the celebrations after the end of the Second World War, and he wasn't able to go. He was in a nursing home, and that was partly filmed, mainly in East Sussex, but partly in Dover.
And we can see the interest it brings. We heard from some people in Sophia's piece back from April there, but you can see sort of exactly all the people gathering there to watch. It's definitely an event for the whole area. Do you think that it's something that will continue? I mean, following something we've been keep talking about, the Hollywood strikes, but will we start to see more of this back on the streets?
This is exactly what we need to be seeing, because it's so exciting. And also what I really loved about Sophia's report is actually seeing the excitement, actually getting to speak obviously to Dominic West, but also just the enthusiasm of the people who were just saying, you know, hang on, I watched this series and now I'm actually able to see the stars. And of course, you know, making it all look like 2005 all over again. It's so exciting. It brings real vibrancy to the county.
And something else it brings is, of course, funding, money. So the money behind something like this, if you were to take a guess, just from your sort of experience in the film industry, something like this, how much would it sort of bring to the county and what is it supporting?
Well, I was just thinking of the film Empire of Light and how that brought in total. I mean, I was surprised when I saw a figure in the millions. I thought, how can that be? But when you think that the cast who are going to be spending time, in that case in Margate, you think that they stay in hotels, they have to eat out, you have a huge crew. You add it all together and it shows that it does make a significant difference to the economy.
Do you think it's an industry that's perhaps looked over a little bit in Kent, or do you think there is enough focus on what a place it holds for the production of films and TV shows too?
Well, it just goes to show that films are made on location. They're not just done with green screens.
Definitely.
So, I mean, it's the sort of things, when you actually see it real, I mean, it makes me want to go and watch those films again. You know, if I'm watching a film and I think, Dover, Canterbury, a Canterbury Tale, they weren't allowed in 1944 to film inside Canterbury Cathedral, so they recreated it in the studio. That was the Paula Pressburger film. So it just goes to show the importance of having the location, or at least what looks like the location, on film. And
it's recognising that the amount of people that went to visit that high street that day that would have never watched The Crown, but are now watching it and waiting for this sixth and final series to see a place they know, and perhaps them in the background. I know Sophia was excited to see it, to see if she was in the background.
Well, I have to say, in watching that now, because I haven't really, because I'm more of a cinema person, as you know, but I would watch that just on the basis of seeing Sophia's report. So absolutely. So yeah, that's how it gets to millions.
Yeah, the behind the scenes atmosphere it creates for sure. Now tell us, what's coming up in Kent Film Club? You also have a little tie in every episode towards things that are made here in Kent.
Well, that's right. So one of the things that we do is talk about films that are either filmed in Kent, you know, in terms of location, or maybe an actor who's associated with the county. So you always have someone like I mentioned, Peter O'Toole, who you know, filmed Venus in Whitstable. But tonight we've got John Wills and a couple of recent films from 2017, Get Out, and also La La Land are among his choices. Quite eclectic choices. And there's a Nicolas Cage film in there as well. In the week, of course, there's a new Nicolas Cage movie out, Dream Scenario.
There we go. And what have you been watching this week?
Well, Dream Scenario, which is as surreal as you can imagine. You know, if you thought you'd seen like Adaptation, or even the film where Nicolas Cage plays himself, you've seen some surreal Nicolas Cage ventures. This takes you into a whole new level. And also a really good film called Anatomy of a Fall, a French film all about a marriage and a murder. And it's a really intricate psychological courtroom thriller.
Amazing. I'm thinking of some films that I can talk to you about in the coming weeks as well on Kent Film Club. Well, thank you very much, Chris, for joining me.
Thank you, Abby.